Good evening, gentlemen and ungentlemen. Welcome back to the Old Computer Shack. I apologize for being so tardy these past couple of weeks. Shit is crazy as always here around the Old Computer Shack vicinity. But that's not really any excuse, but you know, whatever. Alright, so updates. Haven't done anything else with the H-10. I'm waiting on some chemicals and paint and an assortment of O-rings and some stuff like that. First, I'm waiting on parts for that. So in the meantime, I think I'd like to get back into this fucking... did I say that? This lovely Z-89 that's been so very troublesome for us. And what is wrong with my camera? It's not focusing right these days. I guess it is like 20 years old, but whatever. Anyway, so let's get back into this thing. My recollection is, according to power off and power on tests listed in the assembly manual, the main analog video board is functioning as it should. But this being the later 11-pin version of this machine, there's this other small board right here, this one here, that attaches to the CRT neck. According to my recollection anyway, there weren't any power off tests for it, but the voltages are wrong on it. This machine has been so troublesome. I mean, so troublesome. It's really something. Maybe this has been one of the most troublesome machines I've ever worked on. It's not too far gone to fix, so I don't want to give up on it, but it's just like everything that could possibly be wrong with it is wrong with it. It's really something. Anyway, I guess that's fine. It makes the videos more interesting, right? Okay, I'll be back. Aggravating shit here. I had this board working when we put the machine down. Focus, you son of a bitch. Gonna have to get new equipment. I had this board working. It was passing all the tests when I put it away when the H-10 came. Got it back out. Figured better test everything just to be sure. Failing some tests. Test point 1 test was reading too low. That would indicate that one of these... Focus, you son of a bitch! Oh, what is wrong with my camera? Whatever. Anyway, so that would indicate that one of these 3 transistors is bad. There's another test down here, test point 6 that passes. Test point 6 that passes. That would indicate that 202 and 203 were fine. So that leads me to believe that 204 is bad. That is, this big bastard that something has already burned it out like 3 different times. Presumably, I don't know what. I think it was a bad driver transistor before, but the rest of those are testing all right now. Additionally, test point 6 here was reading an open circuit, which would indicate the capacitor C227. It's supposed to be pretty high impedance there, greater than 2K, but it shouldn't be reading an open circuit through that capacitor. That's just testing this capacitor from its positive terminal to ground. So I reworked some stuff on the back here to try to fix some of that shit. Oh, shut up, meter. I don't want to listen to your shit right now. I'm aggravated. I reworked some stuff because some of these pads were pulled off and stuff. I did a little bit of rework on here to try to make sure that was making contact where it needed to. And I'm reading like 4 megs or something through there now. And that is a brand new Nichicon capacitor, this electrolytic right here. So maybe it just has that little leakage. That seems pretty high. My 53 volt test was failing again. Zoom you back out here. My 53 volt test was failing again. It was reading 75 volts again. If Q204 did get blown up again. This is Q204 right up here in the power supply section. That's part of the 53 volt regulator circuit. So I don't know what the fuck is causing Q204 to keep blowing out. It's a fucking mystery. I've replaced 202 and 203. 201 was just a BJT. I think I tested it and it was fine. But it's not listed in this set of transistors that might be bad. Anyway, I tested these Zener diodes. They were fine. The 6 volt rail's working fine. The 9 volt supply down here where that one variable resistor is, it's working fine. It's just this 53 volt supply that keeps the regulation keeps blowing out on it and overvolting shit. It's what the hell, man? It was working before I plugged the neck board back in, so maybe there's something bad here that's causing something to that's a stretch. I don't know. Let's put another Q204 in there and see what happens. Fucking Christ. I replaced Q204 again. I made a new insulator for it, which you probably can't see very well because my camera won't focus, you son of a bitch. Out of an old piece of a credit card that was expired. But I figured the insulator that was under that, I cleaned all of the heatsink compound off of it, and I think it was okay, but it wasn't great. I think they're made out of mylar or something like that, and they start kind of flaking apart. And some of the heatsink compound had gotten up like inside of the insulator, so that was a little funny. So I made that new insulator, but I figured since it's made out of plastic, it's probably going to insulate it heat-wise too from this heatsink here. So I just stuck some stick-on heat sinks on top of the can. Hopefully that'll be sufficient. Fuck. This is turning into a real hack job, but I mean, shit, I don't know what else to do. So I guess I'm gonna plug it back in and do the power on tests again and hope nothing underneath of it. Alright, here goes the power connector. I got my meter hooked up. I got my meter on DC volts. I got it grounded to the heatsink here. I'm going to put it here on this test point for 54 volts DC. And I'm going to hit the power and hope that nothing smokes. Here we go. YOLO. Okay, 48 volts. That's not 54 volts, but it's 48 volts. That's that's a little more. That's a little more like it. Alright, let's hit the other test points while we're at it. Find the other power on test points. Okay, that was test point 1 right there. Test point 2 is on this side of D203 and is supposed to be 6.2 volts. That's going to be right here. 6.2 volts. 6.37, close enough. Test point 13 is right here on this end of this resistor, and it's controlled by this pot right here. It should be somewhere between 5 and 9 volts. 7.5. Okay. I'm not going to fuck with the pot because it's probably already been adjusted how it needs to be, I hope. So, this board is passing all of the tests in the manual now. All the tests in the manual. I took the CRT out so that it won't be in the way, and I can continue with the assembly manual doing the tests in the assembly manual as I assemble the machine. So the next order of business is to install this board in the machine and then test the video driver circuit board with these tests here. I suppose it's possible that if there's something fucked up on this board, it might be what's blowing up the 53 volt regulation on that board, because it needs 53 volts. It's got a test point up here on the ass end of this diode right here, which comes straight off of this connector and goes up here into some stuff. Alright, I lifted one leg of this capacitor. It tests just fine. I mean, it tests the same as a new one. This big 820 ohm power resistor has drifted a little bit high, but it's not terrible, and I don't have any 2 watt 820 ohm power resistors to replace it with, and it's in series with the signal anyway, so a higher resistance ought to be less current anyway, right? So if it's drifted a little high, it shouldn't be what's blowing the switching transistor on the stupid other board. I tested this diode. It seems to be working fine. I don't really have a way to test that transistor, but let's look at the schematic. That transistor, that is 901, Q901. It's on the 6 volt supply anyway. The base is, so, and that one goes to the brightness control through this connector here. Okay, so I can't see as how either of these transistors being bad would necessarily, because there's that big 2 watt resistor right there. That shouldn't be what's blowing that transistor. Surely not. Of course, I don't know what I'm doing, so who the fuck knows? The board is mounted back in the enclosure. The 53 volt rail is verified. Still working, although the voltage is a dab low, but that's better than being 75 volts like it was. 48 volts, that's close enough to 53 for our purposes, I think. Still working for the moment. The flyback transformer has been reinstalled, but note that it is not actually plugged in the wiring harness. So we shall once again test the 53 volt rail, just to be sure. 48 volts, close enough. Still working. Power off test on the video driver board. We have the ohm meter connected to ground. We want more than 5K on this center pin. We have 6.8 megs. That should be fine. And now we're to the point where we lost last time. If I can untangle my leads. Alright. Power on tests of the video driver board. Set your meter to DC volts. Connect the negative lead of your voltmeter to the video circuit board. Heat sink. Measure the voltages in the following chart. Connect the line cord to an AC outlet and set the power switch to on. Measure test point 1 on this diode. Should be 53 volts DC or thereabouts. Let's see if it explodes. 47.7 volts. 48 volts. Close enough to 53 as far as I'm concerned. Test point 2, this side of this resistor should read 6.2 volts DC. 6.37 volts DC. Everything checks out so far. The next au doigt of business is to reinstall the CRT. I shall return CRT reinstalled. That was a real pain in the ass. I think, according to the book, you're supposed to install the CRT in this frame before you install this frame into the machine. It was very difficult to get to these bottom screws, so I'm going to check the 53 volt rail. Once again, the flyback is unplugged, the deflection coil is unplugged, and the connectors are set out of the way. Nothing is touching anything that it shouldn't. I shall turn on the power strip that the thing is plugged into, measure the 54 volt rail. 47.789, 48 volts, close enough. Everything appears to still be working. And then we get to the terminal logic circuit board, and it's got some stuff in here about using a Molex header as an adapter to plug this thing into the main power harness here. Alright, we're back where we were last time when stuff fucked up. Everything's plugged back together. The flyback's plugged in. The anode's plugged in. I didn't do this last time. We're ready to monitor the 54 volt rail when we apply the power. Let's check everything one more time and make sure there's no confuculation going on here. No. I think everything is as it should be. The assembly manual talks about making an adapter out of a Molex pin header to plug the power cable coming from the power supply directly into this little stub cable that would normally power the terminal board from the CPU board, but I just set the CPU board back in here to use as the pass-through because I don't have the right Molex connector to make an adapter. Hopefully that's not what's been blowing everything up. Anyway, I got the voltage monitored here. I'm going to cut it off real fast if anything goes bad. Please work. I'm getting so tired of this. Oh, it would help if I turned on the power strip up there. Alright, here we go this time. It's going to blow up again, I know it. Holy shit balls. I still don't see any heater in there. I'm going to turn the brightness up and see. I don't know, man. I'm not getting any high voltage. That may just be because there's no horizontal sync. The flyback voltage and the heater are both derived from the horizontal sync signal. It comes through here and gets amplified and goes into one side of the flyback transformer, and you get both the flyback and the heater voltage out of the bottom there. So if there's no horizontal sync, you won't get any heater voltage. You won't see that glow in the base of the tube. You won't get any static on the screen either. And something smelled a little funny there when I cut the power off at the last second. This is getting very frustrating. I'm starting to wonder if the flyback is fucked up. I don't know. Let's cut it on again now that it's set for a second. Voltage is fine. Yeah, let me dig a scope out and figure out which of these is horizontal sync and see if we've actually got any coming out of the terminal board. Horizontal sync is white. Vertical sync is violet. Video signal is that shielded cable, presumably. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. Because if we got sync, we should see a raster when we turn the brightness all the way up. So let's apply some power. We still got voltage monitor going on. Alright, we got sync. So that looks good. If we got sync, we should have high voltage, but we don't. So we're back to tracing the horizontal sync signal through this circuit again. But at least it looks like our 54 volt rail, I mean it's about 8 volts low, but I'd think we'd still be getting something. And that may just be because of that transistor substitution. I don't know. It may switch a little different. Who the fuck knows? So I'm gonna keep my nose over this for a little while and hope that I don't smell anything funny. And then I guess we will have to disassemble everything again and take the fucking CRT back out that we can get to the board to probe on it. Ah, fun times. Yes. This is going to be complicated. We've got to have the horizontal sync signal from this terminal board. We probably don't have to have the video signal connected. So let's see if we got a video signal. Yeah, let's do that. That would be good. The video signal comes in on this other cable that's got the brightness pod on it, so we can just grab that here somewhere. I think there's a video signal on there. I believe there is. Get you down here out of the way. Bring you down here where we can see you. Turn your... Yeah, there's a video signal on there, man. We're going to have to trace that horizontal sync signal back through there again. It's hard to tell what the hell's wrong. This... Oh... So frustrating. Alright, this resistor right here with the test clips on it. It doesn't look bad, but it reads open circuit, and that is the same son of a bitch that burned before. That must have been the funny smell that I smelled before. That is R256. This one right here between the 54 volt supply and this side of the flyback. Alright, well, I'm done fucking with this thing. I replaced the BU500 again. I tested D208 again. I did all of the power off tests. I did all of the power on tests. Everything seemed to be working fine. I left it on for a while to burn, to make sure nothing was going to blow up. It ran just fine. I turned it off. I turned on my scope. I stuck my scope on the end of this coil right here. Not shorting anything out. I'm just measuring horizontal sync where it goes into the BU500. Turned the power on again. Smoked that resistor right there. It was working fine. And it's not like the oscilloscope loads anything down either. So there's some kind of funny business going on with this video board. I don't know what. I'm tired. I'm tired of fucking with it. I'm going to take apart the working Z-19. I'm going to adapt it to work with these 11 pin boards and just transplant all the H-89 stuff into that. What a pain in the ass. Very frustrating. Well, there's a sad, empty Z-19. The shame of defeat is palpable. It sucks. But I got better things to do than go round and round with that video board. If any of you guys think you can fix it, I'll give it to you. So tired of it. Alright, I mean the video board. I'm gonna keep the empty H-19 because, or Z-19, whatever. You know, it's a shame to have an empty Z-19, but it could also lead to interesting projects in the future. I kind of hate to do that, but I'll never find a video board by itself, I doubt. I don't know, maybe I'll keep an eye on eBay, and if a video board appears, I shall snag it, and then I should be able to get the thing going as a terminal. I'm gonna put the Z-89 into that Z-19 over there that works. It will require a little bit of rejiggering of some wiring harnesses. This was an 11-pin machine. That's a 10-pin machine, but the parts that need rejiggered, I think, are electrically identical, so it shouldn't make any difference. That'll be another video, though. I need to go bathe in my shame. Alright, see you later.